Number 4, this is by far the biggest and most stupidest mistake, and I wish I rectified this from day one. And that is, g'day you play legends. On today's video, I want to showcase 9 of the most recent upgrades or alterations I've made to my dream camper van. Now, a couple of months ago on this channel, I showcased this incredible 2-year DIY dream camper van build. On that video, I said I'm about 90% complete. I reckon after today's video, we can say we're about 92-93% complete. We will never be fully finished. There's always minor changes or alterations depending on the dream destination we are going in Australia. Doesn't matter where you are in your camper van journey, whether you're on the road full time or starting your first DIY conversion, some of these tips and tricks will definitely help you or make your life a lot easier on the road. The first 3 are inside the van, so let's jump in there. Number 1 and number 2 are do the bedding and seat setup. When I originally designed this van, it was a 100mm mattress. We've gone 1.5 times larger with a 150mm 7-layer memory foam mattress. When I was previously away, the 100mm was okay. It was mainly the chair that was uncomfortable. I am a minority. I have to sit here for hours and maybe a day to sit here and edit and do some work. I know we live in one of the greatest countries to be outdoors, and that's what camping is all about, being outdoors and enjoying it, not being comfortable inside. But full-time van life, there's 2 things that I massively miss. A longer shower and somewhere to chill out and fully relax, whether it's watching TV, editing, or having something to eat. So, sleep is a big priority, and sitting here for a longer period is a bigger priority. So that's number 1. Prioritize the comfortability and practicality over the aesthetic look of the van. If you did watch that full DIY conversion, I highly recommend to watch that. I didn't have anything upholstered. Now I have it fully upholstered, and lucky me, day 1, I've already got a spill on my cushion. Not good. Number 2 is accessing the underbed storage. For me, this is probably my favorite and most unique feature in this entire van, and now it's gotten so much easier because on my recent trip, it was a nightmare and I knew I had to make alterations. And here we have the finished concept. My father, incredibly smart man, when we cut the mattress out, told me to put an angle on there so when it does close, it doesn't bring this mattress up. It's nice and tight fit, so we just have to bang it down, but you can lift it up. Now, yes, you still can access it when all the bedding is on there. I have thought this through and done multiple trips to make sure this works because I want to access all my storage under the bed at all times throughout the day. Come back from a hike, change my t-shirt, and I have to make and unmake my bed. My mother, beautiful woman, also made custom sheets for here and also a drawstring laundry basket for my underbed storage for dirty laundry. So now I have a full accessible underbed storage, and for you, I believe this is a golden secret hidden gem waiting to have more storage in your van, because for me, it is an absolute lifesaver, and now it becomes so much bloody easier. Number 3 is an ARB compressor. Now I know that is super left field, but hear me out. I really wanted a vacuum cleaner inside of this van. My most recent trip to the Flinders Ranges, it was dusty, it was dirty, and a lot of dirt roads, obviously. So the entire van becomes shaking when driving on dirt roads. So I wanted to let the tire pressures down. I couldn't pump them back up because I didn't have anything to inflate them to a petrol station or servo, whatever it may be. And also the entire van was just pretty much constantly covered in dust. I wanted a vacuum cleaner, but it's not practical. It's quite large, I had to charge a battery, and it's a sort of one-purpose use. I'm a big believer things need to be multi-purpose in a van or something that's really confined space. This is where the ARB compressor comes into play. So, turn it on, it has a combustion chamber inside of it. Got the ARB hose that plugs in, can run out the window, do all those tyres, or run out the other side. There we've got also the ARB tyre inflator and also the hand air gun, which I can just go and blow everything out. Multi-purpose, inside the van, tyres, blows out all the mats from the dust and dirt and everything, bringing stuff in a clean van, which is what I really, really enjoy. It's hidden away, it was a bit of a nightmare to install. Anderson plug all the way through to the back fuse block. Inside I've run another Anderson to Anderson A&L fuse so I can get it out because it is very tight in there. Whole reason being I'd never sort of want to access it. Nothing's ever going to go wrong with it. Flick the switch on and off and I can access numerous things that I want to do. I love that. If someone else has a tyre that needs pumping up, I can help them out. It's a multi-purpose system. So I actually think I prefer this Obviously I haven't got the long durability into it to see if it does work, but I've just sort of blown the van out, and especially like being standing here, blow it out, and it's so simple. It packs away, it's absolutely nothing. Probably a little bit bigger than a vacuum cleaner, but it's multi-purpose, which is what I keep referring to. Would I recommend it? Yeah. Is it expensive? Yes. I did get off the Hilux I just sold, so would I have got it anyway? Yes, it was on my mind, mainly for pumping up the tyres. I want to be super remote a lot of the time, and having that assurance so I can let the tyres down, pump them back up. Obviously not bush bashing forward driving, and then chuck the cushions back on. It's all hidden away, bish bosh bash. Love that. Number 4 is by far the simplest but most stupidest mistake I made on this entire van build. I spoke heavily about this on the 7 biggest mistakes I made when converting this dream camper van, and that is to maximize your roof space with solar panels. I have now upgraded to 600 watts on the roof, giving me a massive 42 amps into my battery. Luckily, I didn't make a complete mistake when building this van. I used heavier cable than I had to with the original 320 watts, but now I've added 2 additional 120 watt EnerDrive solar panels on top to give me 600 watt and to maximize as much as I possibly can from the sun. This is fantastic. Even on overcast days like today, I'm still pulling around 16 to 20 amps, where previously it was only about 9 to 10 amps. Absolutely love that. And the number 1 tip I can give you is to maximize your roof with solar. If you haven't done it already, just go home and do it. It is the cheapest way to harvest energy. Don't make the same mistake I did. Still on the way of solar and battery capacity. This is actually, in fact, one of the ones later on, making your life easier on the road, but more on that a little bit later. And that is a battery. Now, every van needs a battery, I understand, but buy right the first time. Don't do the mistake I did and buy what you think is good enough, but really it wasn't good enough. It is probably the most important thing in your entire van. I figured it out on my recent trip. My battery died, my trip was over. My whole van didn't work, and I was in complete and utter up shit creek without a paddle. I've went with a Powerpool 345 watt Scout battery, Australian made, 10 years warranty. It is worth every penny. I can know that every day I wake up, don't have to check what my battery is doing. Now I've got maximum amount of solar and a massive 345 amps, can run my induction cooktop at 3000 watt, don't have to worry about it at all. Invest in the right gear the first time. I've harped on it for years saying that, I didn't follow my own advice. Number 6 is a 12 volt timer switch for my Bushman 30 litre freezer in the back of the van. Similar to the solar panels on top, you want to install them, set and forget, and know they're going to do the exact job that you require. Now, Bushman require you to install a 400 by 100 millimeter vent in the back of the unit to extract that hot air from the compressor. I opted to go with 2 12 volt fans at 100 mil each to extract that by 12 volt power. Little did I know until the recent trip I went on that those fans are quite loud. So at night it was a little bit annoying, and sometimes I'd just wake up and be like, what the hell was that? And it's just those 2 fans starting up. So that 12 volt timer switch now kicks in at 7 in the morning and kicks out at 9:30 at night. Generally, these are the coldest times of the day. The sun's obviously set. During the day, it's 45 degrees outside. You're looking at 60 degrees in the back of the van, if not hotter. So I'll just go with those 2 12 volt extraction fans to get as much hot air from the back of the unit as possible. This is an absolute game changer. I know my Bushman freezer is going to be perfect, and I probably will look at doing that to the Bushman fridge inside, because it's just such a simple, clean and cost-effective install that you know is going to help out the longevity of good quality gear. So my number 7 alteration for this van led me to a massive rabbit hole, which forced me to strip this entire van, but we'll get onto that a little bit later. That is the Jack Relocation. It was taking up prime real estate under the passenger seat in a massive box for hardly anything in there. So now it's tucked all the way at the back, because hopefully I will never need it. But when I do need it, I don't have a time constraint where I can just pull it out, take the wheel off and put it back to where it needs to be. Everything from factory is in there in a small compact unit. Utilize storage, and that is number 8. Now, there is no bigger flex in van life than storage, or the usability space and what you do with it with the storage that you have, and that is number 8. it forced me to strip the entire van and put it back together, utilizing easier storage or more practical storage. And it led to things similar to this. I had this clothes rack installed in the back of my van. When I got back with fishing clothes and I wanted to go to bed, obviously that back door is closed. So now I have it on the outside of the van and also on the inside of the van, and it led me to a massive rabbit hole of how I can make my life easier, use better storage, and use space more effective. And as I said previously, relocating the Jack to the back of the van opened up a massive rabbit hole. Previously, I had all my spare bedding, towers, everything in a massive box just here. That now, plus more, fits underneath the seat in one of these bigger canvas boxes. Not only that, this whole storage now has a table. So if I'm getting things on there, I can now utilize a table there to move whatever I need to. Or if I come back from shopping, I've got stuff to put in there. Super simple like that. Secondly, that just goes back. I've got all these canvas bags in here once again, all organized into outdoor awning stuff, electrical stuff, and water stuff, and then also a bit more fishing clothes and gear there. Now, that fishing gear used to be in here. It is now taken out. So if I want to go fishing, I can easily open that up, grab my fishing gear, get what I need to, fishing rod, and I'm away. Prior, I had to get it out and I had to pack my bag individually for each trip. Now I can just grab a coffee in the morning, flick a lure, and it's done. It is easy utilization of space, and that is what is very important. And the last one, if you're not from Australia, you might not understand, but it's a personal preference for me. It was an upgraded sound system. Now, this was a bit forced upon, but also a bit lucky as well. On the last trip, when I was coming home, my speaker in the passenger side blew. The cone blew, and every time a bit of bass went through, it made a horrendous noise. So I knew I had to get new speakers for this whole setup. The old ones, factory ones, were absolutely basic. I upgraded my head unit when I first got the vehicle because I really wanted maps on there so I could use it on my phone and get onto the maps. But a big thing I've changed on this is I've got Starlink. I pay for it day in, day out, where this would always connect to my phone via Wi-Fi. I ripped the whole unit out and changed it to a USB setup. So now my phone connects to this via USB and also charges, but my phone connects to Starlink, so I'm not wasting data all around Australia or dropping out of data listening to Spotify. So that is the first thing. Also in my Hilux, it had a sound system in there, and I took part of that out, which is an undermount sub, which is under this seat. So I had old RCA cables, I had power cables, I need to get speakers for the door. That was about $79, and also I bought a 4-channel amp, a tiny little one for $99 on special. So for $170, yes, also the head unit, I got an upgraded sound system which sounds so much better. Now, if you're like me, you're by yourself, traveling a long way around Australia, long days in the van, doing absolutely nothing but driving, listening to good music is very important. Listen to a podcast with clear audio is very important. It was a cheap upgrade, a very good upgrade, probably 5 times better than the factory sound system in there. And also this and my phone pairs up nicely with Starlink now, so I'm never having to worry about going to a good phone plan. I've got Starlink, which already cost me an absolute bomb. A little bit of a one for Australians, and me personally, wouldn't recommend spending a lot of money for it because it is just a van, but a huge upgrade and something I'm very thankful for now on these long trips. Especially tomorrow, I've got 500 Ks to do in a day, crank good tunes, Bob's your uncle. There are my 9 alterations I've made to my dream camper van over the past couple of months. I'm sure in a couple of months' time, I'll be bringing you future alterations I've made. On this trip, we're heading off tomorrow to the Eyre Peninsula, doing heaps of fishing, heaps of beaches. I'm sure there's alterations I want to make after that trip. I've already got 2 things written down that I need to buy to make my life a little bit easier. It is never ending. Now for me, the number one thing is maximize your roof with solar panels. It is so important to harvest free energy from the sun, and it's the best dollar cost average for replenishing your batteries. Better than DC to DC, it's looking after your engine. And secondly, storage. I know everyone's gonna roll their eyes and say it, but strip your van and redo it. You can clean your van as you go, but reorganize. Do you actually need that, or is there something better out there for you as an alternative option? It really genuinely helped me more than I thought. Yes, it took 3 days to rip everything out and put it back together, but it really helped me out, and now everything has a spot apart from my gym gear in the front. Do not look in that passenger seat. It is an absolute nightmare. I am recovering from my ACL injury, which requires me to bring a lot more gym gear than I want. That will be me for the next 6 to 9 months as I recover from my ACL. I do want to try and find a solution that does fit that, but I guess that's what I was saying. You find homes for other things, you bring more crap. But guys, let me know in the comments below what you've learned by building a van or over the last couple of months in your van life, what alterations you've made that has really affected how easy and freewheeling your van life really is. But that is it for me today, guys. Tomorrow we are heading to the Eyre Peninsula, an epic 6 weeks fishing, exploring some of the most beautiful, and I mean beautiful, coastline in South Australia. I describe it as God's gift to South Australia. I'll see you then. Ciao.